the 22nd of July, Rabbi Furst, Pierke, Avos. Morning, Meir.
Hey, good morning, Mayor. How are you today?
Doing well, a little hot, but doing well.
Well, it is the summertime.
That's true.
Okay. So again, as Lou mentioned, this is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Tzavapshi here in Yerushalayim, care of Zoom. We're learning on our first year, Pierke Avos. We're learning the Maharal Prague, various different comments he has and explanations he has on Ace Zikna. Let me put the screen share on. We can start again. Morning, Roy. See you checking in. That's good. Okay. Morales is explaining the different opinions in terms of Megillus Esther. But Esther, how old she was? Some maintain she was 70 years old. Some she was 75 years old. Question being that the difference between 70 and 80. Good morning, Roy.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
And therefore, it's a question of when the person's Gevura is at its peak. Okay, let's begin again here. You see the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. The fourth paragraph. Manda Omer Bas Ayin Hey. This is the question. How old was Esther? Right. So several opinions in Chazal. So there's one opinion that explains that she was in fact 75 years old. And why should that be? That's what the Maharal is going to explain. Okay. Any volunteers to read this morning?
I do.
Okay, please go ahead if you like. Start.
Okay, so Ulaman Damar Bas Baim Haisa Ki Ben Arbaim Levina Ulama Ban Arbaim Levina Ki Ad Arbaim Lo of Rove Shinosav Shel Adam. So according to the one who says that she was 40.
Yes. That what he's going into the what's the logic behind the opinion that the Esther was 40 years old? Why specifically should be 40? What's the advantage of being 40 years old?
Right. Because someone who's 40 has wisdom, Bina.
Well, Bina is like insight, right?
Right.
There are different aspects of our mental capacities and potentials. One's wisdom, one's insight, one's intelligence, right? Discernment. They're different. They focus on different aspects of the mind, right?
Right.
Just like, for example, in the composition of a person's body has different muscles, right? The they're formed differently, they're structured differently, and they have different purposes, right? So likewise, the mental capacities of a person also are different. I mean, all in the general aspect of mental capacity, imagination, right? Imagination is not the same thing as wisdom, right?
Right,
A person can be very imaginative, but it doesn't necessarily have to be very wise, right?
right,
And on the other hand, it can be a person can be very wise but not very imaginative. He's creative, and then he has memory, and then he has understanding, and then he has discernment, and he has insight. Right? So all these different things are different mental capacities, but just like as the muscles of the body are different. The same muscles, right, that help you move your arms are not the same type of muscles that move the diaphragm. The diaphragm is also sort of a muscle, if I'm not mistaken. So it's completely shaped and differently. It has a different purpose entirely than the muscles of your arms and legs, right?
right.
Yep.
So your mental capacities and potentials are also are broken down into different types and have different structures, different functions, even though they may be all in the general category of your mental capacities.
Okay, so at 40, she's got insight. Ulama ben
Right.
Arba'im Levina, and just as at 40 she has insight, Ki ad Arba'im, up until 40, Lo Avru Rove. What's Avru?
Have not passed from avar. So the avar is the past. Avru have not passed.
She hasn't passed the majority Shenotav Shel Adam. What's Shenotav?
The years of a person, the age, meaning like 40 is more or less the middle stage of a person's life. That's the midway mark of a person's life in general.
Uh-huh. So she hasn't passed the midway point. The Adayan Haguf Chamre Govar Ad Arba'im Shana She'az His Chil Mare Le Ha Timat the Hasekle
Sichle, liskaber.
the Hiskaber. So let's see. That's she's not past the 40 years of a person, and still the body Kamre is strong.
Well, here the Haguf Chamri, the physicality of the body, Haguf Chamri, the physicality of the body, Goiver is surmounting or dominating. Maybe better dominate.
Okay. Kamre.
That's better. Dominate. Goiver is dominating.
Dominates. Ad Arba'im Shana until 40 years. She'az Hischil, and then it begins Chamra'e it begins to become wise.
But Oz, meaning after 40 years, I mean, up until 40 years, the physicality of the body is dominating. Sha'az once it's reached 40, then Az Hiskot begins. Then it begins Hachamri Le'asmayit, that the physicality begins to wane. Nismayit, to wane.
Ah, to wane. Okay. The hasikli and the intellect. The his gavar.
Skaber. Sichli is Skaber. And then when the physicality of the body now begins to wane, so the sichli, the intelligence, the intellect, is Skaber. Now the intellect will now be dominating.
The chach ben mem shana levina the savar ki Esther kaasher likacha Achashverosh haya la habina sheyesh la'adam. Okay, let's try that. So therefore, when she's 40 years old, the insight and the thought process since Esther.
Okay, so right. Right. So Lekach, therefore Ben Mem Shana Labina. So therefore with the waning of the physical and the beginning of the domination of the intellectual, so therefore at 40 years old, that's a person comes to Bina, to insight. The Savr Ki Esther, so this Manda Omer, this opinion was of the opinion Savr. They were thinking Ki Esther, since Esther, Kasher La Kacheshveres Haya La Bina. So therefore, when Esther was being now taken by Achashverosh, that there should be to her insight. I mean, in keeping with what she was supposed to be doing, right? She would need to have insight into dealing with the situation she was faced with Achashverosh.
Yesh Ladam Kasher Hu Ben Mem Shana. So she had the insight that there is to a person when they are 40. Ad Shehei Ad Shehaya Ruach Hakadosh Hakodesh. Until there was for her heavenly inspiration, Aleha, Lahavina, Vihavina, Hu Kasher Ha'adam, and the insight, it is that a person who Ben Arba'im, who is 40 years old, she had the insight that was appropriate to a 40-year-old. But af al gav shalo timta zeh excuse me. Excuse me. Bishar Adam Sheyeh Nikra Achar Shehu Recha.
That's Rach. That's Rach B'Shanim. He's like young in years. Rach B'Shanim means young in years.
young in years, Rach. Okay, so even though that she did not timsaf this defined,
Yes, that's right.
she did not find this uh in other people that they would be called after that she was young in years.
Yeah, this is a little bit difficult. Um, that even though Shalom Dimsa Zeh Bishar Adam Shia Nikra Acher Shurach Bishani, meaning Nikshav Zaki, meaning even though you don't find this amongst other people that it's called that someone who was Rach Bishani means young in years, Nikshav Zaki, that he should be considered to be a Zaki, Bishvil Chachmasu, because of his wisdom. You have two basic things here. You have one, the person's his actual physical age, right? But that's not the whole story here. The whole story is really incorporating the person's attitude and his mental capacities, right? So a person could even be perhaps young in years, but can still be considered to be wise because of how he uses his facilities of intelligence.
But because of this thing, it's not appropriate for every person. Ki af she ha'adam hu chacham, because even a person who is wise, mikom makom, nevertheless, mitzad yil doso, ha'adam noteh al haguf velo nikra zakein. Nevertheless, from the perspective of Yildoso, of his birth,
Well, Mitzad Yudosa, right? I mean, because that's even though, right, we see that this is something which is not um, uh, relevant in every person, not relevant for every person. Even though a person may be say wise, never not be according to the aspect of his I guess you'd have to his youth. I guess mitzad the fact that he's of his youth. Adam note elaguf. He's still, nevertheless, because of his youth, still referred to um, uh, as not being a zaken. He can't be called a zaken because he's still highly associated with the goof. Ha'adam noite elaguf, since because mitzad he'll do so, ha'adam noite elaguf, because of his youth, the person is inclined. Note is inclined towards the body, meaning the body is what's influencing him most of all. When a person's young, the most important influence that is on a person is his physical body. The physical body is primed and ready to go. This HaKadosh Baruch Hu has primed the physical body to accomplish certain things in the world, and that's something which a person in the time of his youth, he's supposed to be doing those things. So therefore, since the body is primed to do that, the intelligence in the inside of a person, his mental capacities are not as strong as they are, and as strong as they will be when he reaches older years.
So this seems like an argument against her being 40, not in favor of.
Yeah, I was wondering a little bit about that myself. But at least what it's pointing out is that at 40 is the turning point, right? It's not the full impact of the change. That's going to take maybe decades for it to actually take effect. But the change begins at 40. So according to that opinion, apparently since the change begins at 40, it's already considered to be enough that should be considered to be 40 years old at the time. This is the beginning of the change.
Right.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, let's continue on. And this is now another sefer from the Maharal Meprat Gevuras Hashem.
Where's Hashem? Okay. Kasher Yigia Adam la 8 Hazikna Sheaz HaChos Hagash Mios Ahem Kalim Unefasdim. So when a person explains the time of old age.
When a person reaches the time of zikna, the time of age, of being aged. When a person reached the time of being aged,
Sha'az ha'chachos gashmius haim kalim beneath sadim. Then ha'chachos is what, his wisdom?
so as hakoikas agashim is at that time of being aged, so the physical his physical strength, kokas agashmius, the physical strength, came kalim uminasidim. They dwindle and diminish.
Okay. He reaches when he reaches the time of of age, then his physical strength dwindles and diminishes. As he's chadash b'shechol lahasig devarim bishchalim hanifradim. So then he's chadash. He renews his intellect. Lahasig. What's lahasig?
Lahasig means to achieve, to realize.
To realize these things, that his intellect is diminishing.
No, the hasig devarim. Excuse me. The hasig devarim besichlim hanifradim, to realize uh, this distinct intellectual concepts. The Hasig Devarim b'sichlim hanifradim. Sichlim, that's like mental concepts, hanifradim distinct. Nifradim, they're distinct, right? So at the time when the physical strength is beginning to diminish and decline, then at that time, the halahasik, can realize the distinct intellectual concepts.
Uvamala harishona divarim asher einam nismachim al hachomer klal. And he is elevated initially by things that are not close to the physical at all.
It says ubemala harishon devarim asher einam nismachim el achomer klal, and mala harishon, that which arises first. Umala harishon, that which arises first. Devarim asher, those are the things which are eino nismachim el achomer klal, those which are not associated to the physical at all.
V'davar zeh miyuchad dafka b'yemei zikna ba'avur shechakos hagashmim kelim unefasdim as his chadash lo shekol lahasig divarim hasechlim legamre. So it's and this thing is special, specifically in the days of elderliness, for the sake of his strength, the strength of the physical vessels.
But because the kokos hagashmin, the physical strength is kalim lunasidim, is dwindling and diminishing.
Dwindling and diminishing. As yis chadash lo seichel, then there is a renewal of his intellect. Lahasig devarim hasech lim legamre. There is a diminishing of his there is a renewal of his intellect. What is hasig?
to realize the Devarim hasichlim legamre. And as therefore yischadish lo seichel, therefore it's renewing, it's revitalizing his intellect to realize the Devarim sichlim legamre, and therefore it's arousing, it's enabling his intelligence to realize those things which are completely intellectual.
Okay, v'zahu she'amru b'meseches Avos. And this is what is said in the book of Avos. Halomed min hayeladim lama hu daf dome
Right.
leochel anavim. So let's see what this means. It teaches from children why it is specifically, dome. Why it, what's dome?
Similar.
Soon that to eat grapes,
The ochel, meaning it says in the Mishnah in Avos there in the fourth parak, Haloi made many yoladim, a person who learns from those who are young, a person who learns from people who are young. Lamu doma, to who is he? To what is he similar to? La ochel anavim kechos, the person who's eating anavim grapes, kechos, unripened, or let's put it unripened or sour grapes. A person eating sour grapes. So a person who's learning from those who are young, it's like he's eating sour grapes. V'shosha yain megito, and he drinks yain which is unfermented yet.
unfermented. That's grape juice?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, in a certain way, it's not. It's like already it's begun the process of fermentation, but it hasn't become wine yet. It's like foaming. It's not grape juice yet. It's past the stage of grape juice, but it hasn't actually become true wine yet.
Ah,
Sort of in the middle stage. It's not really it's not so nice. It's kind of unpleasant, as a matter of fact. Still in the middle of its process of fermenting.
Aval, halomed min hazekenim lama hu dome leochel anavim bishulos ushoter yayin yashan. But he learns from his elders why he is similar to someone who eats grapes bishulos, I don't know, ripe.
Exactly. The shubos is right. Exactly. Very good.
Vishote yayin yashan, and he drinks old wine. Herush ki chachmas hayeladim nitva bekomer. The explanation is that since the wisdom of the youth Yitva. What's Yitva?
That it's like he's literally nitba means he's sunk into chomer, meaning ki chachmas yeladim nitba b'chomer. The wisdom of those who are young is I would say is grounded in the physical.
Ulefichach hu domeh le'ochel anavim kehos she'en ha ta'am mis bashel b'ta'am ha'anavim adayin mot va b'chomer ha'onev. Therefore, he is similar to one who eats grapes. What is kahot? Kahut?
Unripe grapes.
Unripe. That there is no taste.
Right. She'ena tatam mizbashel. It doesn't have a ripened taste.
Doesn't have a ripened taste, and the taste of the grapes is still what is mudva?
Right. It's grounded. Mutva, we had that before. Mutva b'choyme a'ana. It's grounded in the physicality of the anav, of the vine, of the grapevine.
V'chein kamo mi shoteh yayin chadash she'adayin hayin ma'a rav bishmarim kach masam shel yeladim. So and therefore it's like one that drinks new wine, that it's still what is this word? Hayin?
It's ששוישו yain chodesh שעדיין hayayin me'ur b'shmorim. It's like he who's drinking fresh wine, that it's still shadayin, it's still hayayin, the wine is still me'urim b'shmorim. It's still the wine mixed in with the dregs. Shmorim with the dregs.
The dregs. So the wisdom of the youth is not a wisdom. What's nivdal?
Yeah, so likewise, the wisdom of the youth, ein chachmasa nivdal min haguf. Their wisdom is not distinct, separated from the physical body. It is grounded in the body.
Aval halomed min hasekenim.
So basically what he's saying is, you see that a person who's going to be learning from those who are young So since their wisdom, whatever they do, let's say they do have wisdom. Not saying that there are people who can be wise. A person who's going to be learning from people who are young, the fact that they're still inevitably under the influence, the strong physical influence of the body, so therefore their wisdom, whatever wisdom they do possess, is going to be influenced by that strong influence of the body. As if a person learns from a zaken, person is already older, and the physical strengths of the body are diminishing and dwindling. Therefore, the intellect can now assert itself and dominate. So, therefore, the wisdom of those who are old is a wisdom which is not so strongly associated with the goof, and it's a different wisdom entirely.
אבל הלומד מן הזקנים מפני שחכמסן נבדלת הוא דומה ואוכל ענבים בשולוס שמחמס שניס בשל הענב הטעם נבדל מן הגוף של ענב. But one who learns from the elderly, because the wisdom, what's nivdalet?
It's distinct. It's separated.
Since the wisdom is distinct, it is like the one who eats grapes and drinks I'm sorry.
It's similar to a person that's going to be eating anavim mishuloyus, that the grapes which are ripened.
Shemachmas, that it's because of shenis bashel. Shenis bashel. We had that before.
That they become ripe. Since they become ripened,
they become ripe. The grapes taste ripe from the body of the grape.
They have a flavor. Since the grapes are ripened, they now have a flavor which is different than the vine. Meaning when the grapes are immature and unripe, so they still possess the flavors of what they come from, what they're attached to, which is the vine, which is really just wood. So that's why unripe grapes are sour. Just like you try and eat some wood, it's just probably get a nice sour taste in your mouth. But once the grapes are ripened and now they're separate from the vine which they grew on, even though they might still be attached, but they've been ripened, now they taste completely different from the flavor of what the vine is.
L'chein hayayin hayashan davar nivdal min shamrim v'hu naaseh tzilul v'zach. And so the wine that is old already is different from hamashrim.
Kavar nivdal, it's already been separated. The wine, old wine has already nivdal, been separated from the dregs. Vunaset solos, become clear, vizach, and pure.
Clear and pure. Kach chacham, no, kach mas shel zikanim muvdal utzlul min achi ros haguf. Therefore, the wisdom of the elderly Muvdal, I forget Muvdal.
It's like the same word as Havdalah. When Motzei Shabbos, you make Havdalah. You make a distinction between Shabbos and Chol. So here, the Kach Chachmas came. Likewise, the wisdom of the elders, Muvdal, it's separate, meaning it's separate from, as we'll say, and Solul, and it's clarified, it's clear, meaning Irkus Haguf. It's separated and clear from the interference of the body. That's the difference between the wisdom of the young and the wisdom of the old.
This is the what?
Okay.
The interference of the body of the grape?
Well,
Meaning the vine?
that's what interferes with the flavor. What is interfering with the flavor of the young grapes or the unripe grapes? Because it's still attached very closely to the vine, so it takes on, still has the flavor of the vine. But the ripened grapes, right? They have now been separated and are independent, and they have an independent, separate flavor from the vine, and they got a flavor of themselves, which is a flavor of wine, ripened wine. Likewise, the wisdom of the elders is a wisdom which is separate and distinct from the interference of the physical body, whereas the wisdom of the young, they have a wisdom which is still under the influence of the wisdom of the body, interference of the body. Yeah. Good. Okay. Let's stop here unless there's any particular question.
Okay.
Good. All right.
Okay,
We'll take a
well,
break here. We'll continue
What
shortly.
about tomorrow?
Good.
Shul might be longer tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, tomorrow might be a little bit longer. Okay, well, we could see. We could start it. Can start and as close to 9 o'clock as possible. If we're running late, we run late. But we'll start. We'll try. I guess try as close to 9 o'clock as possible. No, is that okay with everyone?
Okay.
No, well, we'll try.
All right. Could I ask a question or two, please, about tomorrow?
Sure. Yes. What we'd like.
I assume taking dry medicines is okay, like swallowing a lozenge or sort of a little pill. What about liquid medicine?